But in the short term, of course, over the winter, I think that the most vulnerable do need handouts to be able to afford these energy bills. However, we're going to have to expect that inflation would remain higher for a bit longer if that does happen.
Yes, I mean, when COVID happened, the government was able to put together a sort of committee of scientists and medics who came up with lots of ideas, and then the government decided which they wanted to follow. You would have thought there are so many economic experts at the moment saying, why don't they do this? Why don't they do that? Why don't they do the next thing? Do you think there are ways that, you know, a good economist could actually help get us out of this?
I don't know, because I feel at the moment the power and gas markets are fundamentally broken. What you're seeing is power traders, they're hedging their risk effectively, which is driving the market higher. Normally, people involved in the market buying and selling and trading gas and power contracts, they're basing it on supply and demand. But at the moment, what they're really pricing is just massive uncertainty. And when that happens, that is what breaks a market. You get, you know, a real lack of liquidity in that market, and you just keep seeing the price go higher.
So how does that in itself get resolved? I mean, is that absolutely dependent on securing the situation with Russia and getting that confidence back?
Yeah, I think so. I think, you know, if there were to be maybe a 20% increase in supply over the next month or so, we would see a considerable gap down in that market, which would, you know, dampen wholesale prices.
But to be realistic, that's not going to happen, is it?
No,
so the next thing is we have to become what they call energy secure. We have to make enough energy of our own to survive. And that's not going to be a very short-term solution either, is it?
Well, this is exactly one of the issues that we're facing, is that over the last 5 or 6 years, we've seen maybe 3 decades of, you know, net zero policy just transferred into that short period. And what this has led to is real underinvestment in the oil and gas industry, which, you know, has kind of created these issues. You know, of course, there's reliance on Russia. And the other factor there, I guess, is that Europe's facing a massive, massive situation as well. There's a firm called SKW, I think, in Germany, that makes ammonium nitrate fertilizers. And they require a hell of a lot of natural gas to do that. Now, they're saying that they're going to go onto a short-time work from October the 1st, which basically means that they're going to cease production because it just isn't viable for them to continue. So there's a couple of different outcomes here that I think can happen, is that this starts occurring, is that industrial production starts to really shut down. Alongside that, people stop paying their household bills. 2, we get that supply increase. 3, we get governments effectively bailing out the economy again, but then seeing that inflation run higher for longer. Or 4, it does resolve itself. And I'm not convinced that it will, based on a call that the executives and power traders have with the national grid each week. Last week, it was very, very concerning. Javier Blas at Bloomberg ran a piece on this. And he said that the situation amongst electricity traders at the moment is very, very concerning.